So what's your recommendations for when looking for a funeral home?
Sure. Probably my first thing would be is to look for a locally owned funeral home. There are funeral homes that are owned by a corporation, and they can do a service just fine. But I feel like a locally owned is the best option. You know, say you can get a funeral at any funeral home in your area. You can get a cremation. You can buy a casket from anywhere, but it's the little things that makes the difference for a funeral home. And as I mentioned before, we have a lot of families that have been there time and time again, and having that reputation, and when they say you're the one we're going to call, that is showing a lot of trust in us, and that's something that I take very important. It's very important to me because you're right. It is they're entrusting their loved one to us, and it may sound like it's a cliche, but it's very important.
Yeah.
Because if they don't trust us, then you have a big problem. And so it's the little things that make a difference. For families.
Yeah. In your opinion, what separates a good funeral home from a bad funeral home?
Sure. I think putting yourself in someone's shoes and showing real care, and where it's not just a job to you, that it's your calling and that's what you're supposed to be doing. And we have a lot of good part-time people that work for us, and they're in the community. They are out doing things. They know a lot of people. And I think that makes a difference too, is that you see a familiar face. That helps too, because no one wants to be at the funeral home, whether it's their loved one or it's someone they know. No one wants to be there. And I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But our job is to make them more at ease, to make the situation better. And for me personally, that is the biggest compliment that I can get, is if a family, after arrangements or after a service, when they tell me you made a hard situation easier on us, or they say, I was worried about this, but it wasn't as bad as I thought, the process, and you made it easier. And that's what it's all about. So, I can't do it by myself. We have a lot of good part-time people and support staff, and it's definitely difficult at times, but having good people makes a huge difference.
Yeah, professional too.
Yes.
That makes a big difference too.
Yes.
What stands out to you the most about funeral homes, especially for the one you work at? What stands out the most with the funeral home you work at that you would recommend to anyone?
Sure. It's the little things that make a difference. One thing that we do is we do a memorial blanket. We use a company out of North Carolina, and we send a picture, and there's a lot of different options for backgrounds. We just take somebody's hobby, put a picture in there, and then they send that to us the next day. And so we hang that up for the family or for the service. And little things like that make a huge difference. We're the only one in the area that does that. Even something as simple as when we are on a call, once we have the individual on our cot, we make the bed, and we leave a rose on the bed. And even something as simple as that.
Wow.
It's an artificial rose, but just little gestures like that, I feel like are important to show the family that we do care. As I mentioned, having genuine care makes a difference. And we want families to know that this isn't just we're trying to get done with your service and on to the next one. And I know it gets busy, and sometimes it's difficult, but each family is important to us, and to show that care
Yeah.
is what makes the difference.
Because they'll always go back and remember those little things.
Yes.
It'll be that rose on the bed.
Exactly.
It will be that last conversation they had with you after the funeral.
Yes.
When you give them the flowers at their house.
Exactly.
Those are the things that stick out.
Yes.
Yeah. So true.